Ava dressed quietly. Her father was still asleep on the narrow couch on his side of the caravan. When she cracked open the screen door, he stirred and waved groggily, a weak salute that ended in a spasm. That was the MS. If it wasn't spasms, it was stiffness, numbness, tingling. When Ava was little, the thought of him dying used to make her hyperventilate. "I'll cling on till you bump me off yourself," Jim would say airily, passing her a paper bag. "You just watch out for trains." Watch out for trains. A morbid quip born of her mother's collision with an intercity express shortly after she had run off for the city. Jim always pointed out that he could hardly leap in front of the 11:02 to Penrith with his manky legs, could he? In any case, there were no trains around here. The tracks stopped a few towns north, as if reluctant to venture any further from civilization. Outside, pink arcs bled across the sky. Ava crossed the dirt path to the toilet block and yanked the hose inside. She made $3 a day hosing out the cubicles, morning and night. They stank regardless. The concrete floor was cracked, the flush buttons broken, the porcelain bowls yellowed, though they probably weren't porcelain at all, but some cut-price substitute that was giving them all rectal cancer. The term caravan park conjured up sun-filled holidays, children frolicking on inflatable pool toys. In reality, it was a parched, windswept place, vans strewn across the craggy headland, wheels bedded into the weeds, doors hanging from single hinges. There was a decrepit playground with a seatless seesaw and a sand-blown colonial-era pub the colour of pumice stone. The sole shop sold dented tins of baked beans and, belatedly, newspapers about goings-on in impossibly faraway worlds. Bill Clinton's impeachment, the Good Friday Agreement. Now the sun was up, gold and ferocious. She shaded her eyes with her hand. In the distance, Patrick was already leaning against the payphone. She wound the hose back onto its hook and crossed the headland towards him. "Ladies first," he said. He was wearing his favourite singlet, the one reading, "Love, Mother Earth." "You go. I'm too nervous." He picked up the receiver as she recited the phone number she had committed to memory the moment exams were over. 75.0, said the robotic voice on the line. Enough for the biology degree she knew he would never do. "Sure you won't go?" "All that debt," he shrugged, holding out the receiver. "You're up." She keyed in the number, fingers clumsy with anxiety. 99.9, said the voice. Shaking her head, she pressed 1 to hear the score again. 99.9. She jabbed at the buttons. "It's not working." "How do you mean?" 99.9. "I think it's jammed. It keeps saying the same thing." He listened for a moment, his face breaking into a grin. "It keeps saying 99.9. "That's what I mean. That's your score, idiot." Ava's jaw fell open. It was enough for political sciences at her first-choice university. It was enough for any degree anywhere in the state. She was enough. Patrick grabbed her hands, danced her out of the phone booth, spun her around until she felt like the giddiest version of herself, buoyant and careless. "Celebratory swim?" he said. They raced to the tip of the headland, the rock ledge that jutted over the water like the bow of a ship. Up here, she felt like Kate Winslet on the deck of the Titanic, the scene where Leo holds her as she leans into the wind, arms outstretched like Jesus on the crucifix. Following Pat's lead, she stripped to her underwear and leapt, whooping into the bay below. Normally, Ava never jumped, had grisly visions of herself landing on submerged rocks, being knocked unconscious and dragged out to sea by the tide. Today, she felt invincible.